Hello friends and welcome into College Football Now. I am your host Tom Downey. I'm back with bowl projections for all the bowl games this year in college football. There's a lot of them, so we're going to run through these for you. First up, the Bahamas Bowl, Florida Atlantic, Eastern Michigan tracking towards bowl eligibility. Who wouldn't want to play their bowl game in the Bahamas? All right, the Frisco Bowl right across the street from us here in Texas. We're, of course, not that far away from Frisco in Dallas. Temple versus Marshall. The Cure Bowl, this could also end up being maybe Charlotte gets in here instead of Georgia State, possibility there. I got UCF in a de facto home game for them against Georgia State. The New Mexico Bowl, as we start with some of these, lesser matchups here. How about UAB and San Diego State? A low-key, good group of 5 matchup. The Boca Raton Bowl, and of course Boca Raton. No FAU for this one, won't give them a home game instead. How about Buffalo and Tulane in this particular matchup at FAU Stadium? Boca Raton, fun matchup right there. Buffalo, they're not going to win the MAC East, but they are tracking towards bowl eligibility. All right, college football fans, let me know in the comments section. Is your team going to a bowl game this year? Type Y for yes, type N for no. The answer for me is yes, because finally, my alma mater, Miami of Ohio, they are back in the MAC championship game. They are the MAC East winners. Got them heading down to the Camellia Bowl in Montgomery, Alabama to take on Georgia Southern. The Las Vegas Bowl. This one, I actually like this matchup a lot here. How about Arizona State? They've looked pretty good under Herm Edwards against the always powerful Group of 5 program, Boise State in Las Vegas. That's a good early December matchup, or I guess bowl season December matchup. The New Orleans Bowl, still the R&L Carriers Bowl, because that one I don't think should ever change. Southern Miss against Appalachian State, another kind of underrated Group of 5 matchup. Both these teams have been pretty good. I'm still going to go with App State, though. The Gasparilla Bowl. How about Charlotte, who is going to be bowl eligible in all likelihood, against SMU? Maybe not the matchup SMU won, and I know they had hopes of being the Group of 5 team, but that's probably going to go to either Cincinnati or Memphis. Stay tuned to see which one. The Hawaii Bowl. This one, well, BYU actually already is locked in. They are going to this bowl game. Hawaii is not technically locked in, but when Hawaii is bowl eligible, they play in the Hawaii Bowl. So I think this one is going to come true. All right, the Walk-Ons Independence Bowl in Shreveport, Louisiana. We get Louisiana Tech, a kind of sort of home game, against Florida State. Now, we'll see how Florida State plays, but they are bowl eligible this time around. Maybe they'll have their new head coach in place by the time bowl season rolls around. Of course, you can bet on all of the college football bowl games. I won quite a bit of money last year parlaying Northwestern, Penn State, Texas, all to pull their upsets. You can do it on BetDSI. Chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code CFB120. That gets you a 120% deposit bonus. So you put down $50, got an extra $60 to bet on all the bowl games. They're fun. They normally come down to the wire. It makes bowl season even more fun for a college football fan betting on those games. Chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code CFB120. The Quick Lane Bowl here against two teams kind of tracking in different directions. Michigan State, they have a game against Maryland. And Rutgers, they should be able to get bowl eligible. Kind of sort of a home game for them. North Carolina has to win another game here, but I think both these teams will be bowl eligible. It's a decent matchup for a, frankly, lesser bowl game. All right, the Cheez-It Bowl played out in Phoenix, Arizona. TCU, I think they get bowl eligible. And then Utah State. I would actually really enjoy this game because I'm a big fan of Jordan Love. TCU, they almost upset, but they're a little bit up and down so far this year. The Pinstripe Bowl. Iowa against Miami. Two solid but not really spectacular programs. We know how good Iowa is playing at home. The Hurricanes have been very much an up and down program this season. All right, the Texas Bowl. They got to get somebody from Texas in there, right? Texas A&M from the SEC. And then Iowa State, just coming off a win over Texas. I like that matchup a lot there. I really like this one, though. The Holiday Bowl. Michigan against Washington. And not really a home game for Washington, different state, but closer than it is for Michigan. And Wolverine fans, bonus, you don't play Florida this time around. Isn't that what we all want in the end, to have a different bowl matchup in 2019? Or I guess it's still 2019. All right, the Military Bowl. You got to have a military school in there. I'm going to go with Navy on this one against Louisville. Navy, Louisville. Louisville, by the way, a lot better than I thought they were going to be. But I got one rule on BetDSI. Never bet against Navy in the Military Bowl. That's a straightforward, easy decision right there. I got them winning whoever they end up playing. As promised, the college football playoff outlook here. LSU number 1. We gave Oregon the 4 spot. This, of course, could change. Oklahoma's still in the mix. Technically, a variety of SEC teams are still in the mix. Utah, kind of think Baylor's on the way out. But LSU number 1, Oregon number 4, that would be in the Peach Bowl because it's closer for LSU. That's the matchup there, 1 versus 4. Now, if you want to see all of the college football playoff rankings, we've got you covered here on YouTube. We'll be live 7 p.m. Eastern Time this coming Tuesday. That, remind everyone, is November 19th because this is out before it. CFP rankings live on YouTube. Make sure you've got notifications turned on. That way you know once we're live breaking down what the CFP committee sent our way. Then the Fiesta Bowl matchup. And in most years, wouldn't this be a 1 versus 2 for the title game matchup? Instead, Ohio State, Clemson for now. Both those programs undefeated in the Fiesta Bowl. They'll travel well to to Glendale, Arizona, It's a fantastic matchup there, if, of course, it ends up holding. How about a pair of blue bloods in the Camping World Bowl? Texas versus Notre Dame. Texas has not been anywhere near as good as hoped. Notre Dame, they've been solid, but they've got a brutal loss to Michigan. They're not going to like the Gator Bowl or anything like that. Camping World Bowl, though, a good fit for them. All right, some of those New Year's Six Bowls played on December 28th because it's weird. How about Baylor-Cincinnati? Now, both of these teams would, again, Cincinnati would be the group of 5 representative. Maybe Baylor can upset Oklahoma in the championship game. That's going to be the toss-up there. If it's not Baylor, does Florida get in to go with another SEC team? Someone else sneak in that top 25. But Cincinnati, I think, will be a group of 5 rep. They get to go. Baylor comes in as the last of those top-rated teams in the CFP. All right, the Surf Pro First Responders Bowl at the Cotton Bowl here in Dallas, Ohio. Not eligible yet. They have a very plausible path, though, against Western Kentucky. Yeah, maybe not the best matchup, but it is kind of a local matchup in the end. Just played in Texas this time around. The Music City Bowl, Kentucky, using a wide receiver at quarterback for a good portion of this year. They get to take on Pitt, who technically is still alive in the ACC race, the championship game. Crazy, right? All right, the Red Box Bowl out in Levi Stadium, Illinois versus Cal. Shout out to Fighting Illini for being bowl eligible this year. Cal gets a closer game. I'm sure the Red Box Bowl would appreciate that. Illinois is probably not going to sell that many tickets, even if it is the first bowl game in a while. But Cal, not that far away, certainly would. All right, the Orange Bowl, another one of those New Year's Six matchups. And guys, I know it's not great, but the Orange Bowl is going to take the number 1 ACC team. But if Clemson gets in, they're probably going to take whomever Clemson beats in the ACC title game. Right now, that's predicted to be Virginia. And then they made it to the New Year's Six Bowl. Congrats, you get to play Alabama. Because I don't think Bama's making the CFP. They still got a New Year's Six Bowl. That one might not be the best one to watch, quite simply. All right, the Sun Bowl, Pac-12 versus ACC. Wake Forest was ranked, and then they remembered they're Wake Forest, and they're not that great. Washington State's taking a step back this year. Could still maybe upset Washington down the stretch, get a better bowl. But the Sun Bowl there between those two teams. I like this one a lot. How about the Liberty Bowl? I did kind of shuffle the order of one of the conferences here just to help make it happen. Kansas State and Missouri. That's a really fun matchup. I would love to see that in the Liberty Bowl. And Memphis, Tennessee, close enough for those two schools to get some more fans in. The Arizona Bowl will not feature an Arizona team this time around. Nevada versus Arkansas State. One of those games on CBSN Sports Network, which no one has or knows how to find. All right, the Alamo Bowl. Oklahoma State versus USC. There is the possibility that Texas could slide in here, which would be a great matchup, but Oklahoma State is more deserving right now. Remember, they've looked really good for a good portion of this year. USC keeps finding ways to beat up on other Pac-12 teams. They also have Notre Dame left to play this year. The Belk Bowl, Mississippi State and Virginia Tech. I kind of like this one. These are kind of the lesser SEC, lesser ACC programs, but Virginia Tech's gotten going a little bit as of late, and the Belk Bowl feels right to have, for some reason, Virginia Tech, or maybe just because I'm weird and almost went to Virginia Tech and I'm being biased. Who knows? All right, the Outback Bowl, another New Year's Six matchup. Penn State and Auburn, the almost had it in the SEC, and probably the almost had it in the Big Ten. Two good programs That's a good matchup right there for the Outback Bowl. The Citrus Bowl. Go once again, Big Ten, SEC, Wisconsin. Got them not upsetting Minnesota. Keep that in mind. But Florida as well. That's a really good Citrus Bowl matchup. Again, it's kind of a home field advantage for Florida, but at least they're not playing Michigan this time. The Rose Bowl. I will give Minnesota some love since the CFP and the AP poll refused to do so. Let's send them to the Rose Bowl. One of the best seasons in program history, especially in, everyone watching's memories, bank at least, against Utah. Even if they don't beat Oregon, Oregon goes to the CFP. Utah would slide in. If not, Oregon, let's say Oregon comes up short, Oregon would slide in here as well as the Pac-12 winner. All right, the Sugar Bowl. I like this one. Oklahoma and Georgia. Georgia knows a thing or two about playing Jalen Hurts late in the year, huh, guys? I like this matchup a lot. Now, hopefully, Georgia, you come out a little bit more awake than you did last time in the bowl game, because that was not very pretty. But I like this matchup between the Sooners and Georgia. If they both get left out of the CFP, maybe this is your 5-6 matchup. How cool would that be? Now, today's show is brought to you by BetDSI. Head over to chatsports.com/bet and use that promo code you see on screen. It's CFB120. It gets you a 120% deposit bonus. Put down $50. They give you $60 for free. It's chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code CFB120 for a 120% deposit bonus. All right, the Birmingham Bowl, Memphis, they come up just short, but they're still a fantastic program this year. Army isn't guaranteed bowl eligibility. I got a sneaking suspicion they'll find their way in, and plus it makes things nice and even for our bowl projections. All right, the Gator Bowl, not the greatest matchup. They've kind of getting the short end of the stick with a lot of weird rules and regulations from the SEC and the Big Ten, even the ACC's involved here. Tennessee, Indiana. Indiana's had a great year. Iowa's been to the Gator Bowl in recent memory, so I'm going to send the Hoosiers instead. Tennessee still has Vanderbilt. They should be bowl eligible this year. The famous Idaho Potato Bowl, Central Michigan and Wyoming. Central Michigan could still win the MAC West, not guaranteed that. Wyoming, meanwhile, has played a pretty solid season. Let's send them to Boise. Then the Armed Forces Bowl. Of course, we were going to find a way to get one of the service academies in this one. Air Force against Toledo. I'm very pleased by how Air Force has played this year, by the way. Really impressed with them. They get matched up against the MAC school Toledo. Speaking of MAC schools, the Lending Tree Bowl. Western Michigan and Louisiana, Lafayette, and Mobile, Alabama. Just renamed like literally 3 days ago. It is no longer the Mobile, Alabama Bowl. It's now the Lending Tree Bowl, WMU and ULL. Reminder, folks, we have the CFP rankings coming out Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, live on YouTube. The link to subscribe is below, but you're watching on YouTube, so subscribe. Make sure you've got that bell clicked so notifications are on, so you'll be notified the second we go live with those CFP rankings.